Hello everyone, welcome back to another video about Assassin's Creed. So today we've kind of got this new leak on 4chan about Assassin's Creed Origins. It's been summed up very nicely by this Reddit user on the Assassin's Creed Reddit, and I'm just going to be going over it today, giving my opinions of it. First of all, I want to say, take this with a massive grain of salt, like the biggest grain of salt you can find, because there's no proof behind this, it's just leaks, and, you know, just take a grain of salt. Like, as with any leaks, take it with a grain of salt. I also just want to say that my exams start tomorrow, my final exams at the end of year 11, and I'm going to be super busy doing like little bits of revision here and there, and it's going to be difficult for me to pump videos out. So if I don't upload daily on some days, then that's probably the reason why, but I'm going to try to continue uploading this daily. I don't want to take a break because I've already took a break last month and it didn't really do well for my channel. It affected everything quite a bit, so I'm going to carry on through exams. But if I do struggle to get videos out, I hope you guys understand, and I'll thank you guys for all the support. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video and go over all of these leaks. It's a big fucking list to go over, so let's get straight into it. So first of all, we have the leaks aren't accidents, they're controlled. Both pictures are real, and the first one where the main character stood in front of something is very old, so that's why it kind of looked a bit strange, and, you know, it was in early development stages. The second one is a picture from the demo we'll see at E3. Now, I kind of suspected that the screenshot we saw was from some kind of demo, because obviously they're in the middle of an activity, they're doing something, and we're definitely going to be getting a demo at E3, because if we believe the leaks that we got last week, then we will get an announcement for the game before the end of the month, by the 30th. So it's definitely going to be E3 if we're believing the leaks. Here it says, new scouting mechanic, the Eagle. The Eagle's placeholder name for now is ACOM. There are no towers in the game. You'll be using your Eagle for side activities and points of interest. There's a limit to how far you can go away from the protagonist. Now, I really don't like to hear this, because obviously, as you guys know, I despise the controllable Eagle, and if they push it for things like side activities and points of interest and stuff like that, it makes it all that much more worse for me, because as an assassin, you're meant to be able to do this stuff yourself. You know, you're meant to be able to scout out your surroundings, go to points of interest by yourself. You don't need a controllable Eagle to be able to do that. That means you're a pretty fucking shit assassin. Also, how the fuck does he control an Eagle? Doesn't make an awful lot of sense. You can't do that. You just can't do that. We're going to be reliving the memories of an eagle suddenly? How would we get the DNA of an eagle? I don't fucking understand. I have no idea. It's such a bad idea. I really hope it's not in the game. So next up, it says, the characters all speak English like in Unity. That is because of the Animus 5.0, which has perfected any translation issues of the older versions. You'll be sitting in it, not moving around like the movie. So I like to hear that we'll be sitting in the Animus and not moving around like the movie. But I don't want English accents, if that's what that means. I don't want English accents. Pretty sure that's what it means, which is not what I want. That's a really bad idea. It was a huge immersion breaker in Assassin's Creed Unity, and if we're walking around in fucking Egypt and there's a load of guys with fucking Cockney English accents, I swear to God I'll kill myself, because it's ridiculous. Like, with games like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and all that good stuff, even in 3 with Stéphane Chauffeur, he had a fucking French accent. All of the characters had their right accents, so I find it kind of ridiculous that they're going with the English accents again. But again, you know, it might not be a real leak. It's kind of seems kind of fake. I don't really know. You know, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, as I said at the beginning of the video. But if they were to do this with the English accents, I think it'd be a very bad way to go, and it was definitely a bad idea that they did it in Unity. It was a huge immersion breaker. Okay, so here we have a new modern day protagonist. He's male and mixed race, already a trained assassin, and has a new team that helps him achieve his task given by William himself. Rebecca, Sean, and William will make appearances. So yeah, that's alright, you know, trained assassin, all that good stuff. I'd definitely love to see a modern day protagonist return. Nothing too much here, except I would like to see Rebecca, Sean, and William again, because they made the modern day actually feel like Assassin's Creed, whereas the recent modern days have all been pretty shit. The modern day is more like AC3's modern day, with bigger areas and more character interaction. The modern day does more to highlight the fact that Assassins and Templars still exist and are having a big impact world. Now, this is a thing that a lot of us wanted back in the modern day. We wanted the modern day to be more prominent and have more, you know, just being more involved with everything overall. Without giving too much away, a piece of Eden is used during the Exodus and the crossing of the Red Sea, playing into the whole overarching mission of the modern day protagonist. Not the main focus of the story, though. So, I guess Moses is in the game or something like that, and he uses the fucking Staff of Eden or something to part the Red Sea, because obviously, he had a staff, he used the staff to part the Red Sea, and it'd be cool to see Moses in the game, you know. I think we've established now that Egypt is where it's set, and it'd be cool to see the parting of the Red Sea in an Assassin's Creed setting and see how they would portray it using pieces of Eden and stuff like that. And I don't know, is the staff powerful enough to literally part the sea? Is it? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. It must be a pretty fucking powerful piece of Eden, unless he's using the fucking Trident of Eden, which I don't think he is, because he just had a normal staff. So I don't know. It'd be very nice to see that. He doesn't exactly know when it's set, but last he heard, it was set between 1400 and 1200 BCE, and it's set during the dynasties. Now, I don't know if this coincides with the other leak. The other leak said it was the 5th dynasty, and I don't know history, especially Egyptology, so I have no idea when 1400 and 1200 BCE is. I don't know if that's fucking, if that's the 5th dynasty or not, but I'm going to go with the first leak, because the first leak was, you know, with the screenshot, and I believe screenshot, because it's literally fucking visual evidence, whereas this is just someone's word. No naval combat. It's really only just sailing a boat for travel purposes. It's like in The Witcher 3, just a tad more customizable, that's it. So I guess we'll have a customizable boat to some degree. And as I said, yeah, it seems a lot like The Witcher 3, where you kind of just get a boat and you kind of, you know, drive it around in the different water areas. That's kind of what I expected, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want naval combat per se to return. I just wanted nice boat traveling, you know, to travel across the Nile and stuff like that. You'll be traveling the Eastern Mediterranean with your boat. What's the Eastern Does he mean Eastern Mediterranean? I think he means Eastern. Now, I don't know what the relevance of that is, but apparently he said here, you'll be traveling the Eastern Mediterranean with your boat. There you go. Apparently, ambient music is back in the game, which is great to hear, because there was some great ambient music in Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations 3, and all that good stuff. It wasn't so prominent in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was kind of upsetting, but I'm glad to hear that it could possibly be coming back due to this leak. It does sound great, you know. It sounds pretty good. Devs have focused on story 100%. There's no multiplayer whatsoever. However, there are microtransactions like in Black Flag. A lot of work went into the immersion aspect. So, yeah, you know, microtransactions doesn't really bother me an awful lot, because, you know, in Unity they were kind of annoying, but it doesn't bother me that much in a single player game. And also, it's good to hear that devs apparently have focused on story 100%, but again, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the video, take this leak with a grain of salt, challenge it, don't, like, think it's real 100%, because obviously it's just someone saying, you know, I could easily make a Assassin's Creed Origins leak on Reddit, and get loads of people to believe me. So, I don't know, just take it with a grain of salt. There's plenty of tropical areas, mirages, oasis areas, and various islands dotted around the sea, which is kind of cool to hear, and apparently it says here that they're beautiful. But, you know, why is there a sea? Are we going to be able to travel around the sea? What's the point in that? Is there really any point in that? I don't see the point in traveling around the sea, but I guess it'd be kind of like Black Flag sort of thing, where there's little islands dotted around with different gear on there and stuff like that. The main protagonist in the past is a quieter version of Altair. Basically looks like him, slightly darker and not black like Adewale. I did expect, if we're setting it in Egypt and further back, we'd have a more stoic assassin like Altair, and it's been a very prominent belief since the very early days of Assassin's Creed Empire and Assassin's Creed Origins that we will have quite a quiet character, more of a stoic like Altair, that kind of gets the job done and doesn't really talk an awful lot, which I don't mind, because they've still made great characters out of that. You know, it doesn't need to be like Ezio cracking jokes all the time, doesn't have to be like that. That's just one of my favorite characters. I like it when characters are like that, but Altair is also a great character, and he was a stoic and never really cracked any jokes whatsoever. They apparently have a trilogy planned with this main character, and Greece comes in next, and he's there, no idea about the third entry at all. So basically, apparently we're going to go to ancient Egypt and then ancient Greece, but if it's set in 1200 to 1400 BCE, surely Greece wasn't fully formed at that time, you know, it wasn't fully a thing, you know, because we go from Empire in its height, like in its prime, to Greece, which is like kind of just starting out and is a bit shit. So I don't know if they could make that interesting or not, or if the fucking main character, like, ages very fucking well and lives for fucking ever. I don't know. The main protagonist is apparently an Israelite, which You know, there you go, there's a piece of information there. Well, could be fake. The combat has been reworked, enemies have different attack patterns and will actively try to flank you, kind of like The Witcher 3, but easier to get into. So anything, you know, kind of saying that it's like The Witcher 3, in my opinion, makes it good. You know, it makes anything good, because The Witcher 3 is a phenomenal game, and I fucking love it. So if you literally compare anything to The Witcher 3, I think it's good, because it's a great game. Stealth is much more integrated into the world. You can hide on corners, in crowds, in buildings, and in bushes / haystacks. Imagine Syndicate and Unity stealth, but much more well thought out and implemented. Social stealth is emphasized a lot in the game, and you'll be blending into crowds and with groups of slaves an awful lot. Now this makes me happy. Okay, if this is true, social stealth is something I believe did need to be pushed in the last few games. It was very prominent in Assassin's Creed 1, you know, social stealth, blending with crowds, finding ways to get to your target. It was very, very cool. So it makes me happy to hear that social stealth will be pushed a lot more in the next game, apparently, according to this leak. And it's just great. It's really cool. That's kind of the main point of Assassin's Creed, being a blade in the crowd, and social stealth is a really important part of the franchise. Free running is the same as Syndicate and Unity, though it adds in some of the flair from Watch Dogs 2. It's a lot smoother and more fluid, which is great to hear, because Watch Dogs 2 did have some cool parkour going on there. Like, I didn't like the game overall, it wasn't that great, but it certainly did have some cool parkour, and I think that'd be great to have that implemented into Assassin's Creed. Engine is a reworked version of Syndicate, but looks drastically different to Syndicate and Unity. So imagine what we have of the original leak that we got, you know, the screenshot we got last week, and that's basically what the game is. That's what it looks like. That's the graphics engine it's using and all that good stuff. It looks so much better than Syndicate and Unity. It does look different. It looks a lot more vibrant than those two games. They took Unity's backlash very, very badly, and they've been working on Origins so much to avoid another buggy situation. Syndicate was about 60% complete when the backlash came to light, so Ubi shoved that one out the door before we had a break. So that was basically a quotation from someone at Ubisoft, apparently. But if they are working to revoke all of these bugs and not have another Unity situation, that can only be good. There's nothing bad about that whatsoever. There's no Switch version. Releases on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now we know this, it's not coming out for Nintendo Switch. This was stated last week. Coming out later this year, which is definitely what we all expected. You know, no Assassin's Creed in 2016. Ubisoft want to get their grubby mitts on all the money, so they're obviously going to release it this year. They couldn't even, you know, not release an Assassin's Creed title last year. They couldn't do it. They had to release the Ezio collection. Here's an interesting piece of information. The hidden blade used in the game is a very early version, requires losing a finger, and there's also a bow, shield, and various swords, spears, and throwing knives, which is nice to hear. I like using a sword. I don't want to use a shitty kukri or a fucking cane sword or a fucking brass knuckle. I don't want that. I want swords and spears and awesome weapons back again. That was what made Assassin's Creed awesome, made the combat so cool. It was just fucking great, you know? So I definitely expect awesome weapons like that to return, considering it's going to be set in ancient Egypt. Our protagonist doesn't have a name at the beginning. Later, other characters start calling him Shed. What the fuck? After the deity that represents salvation. Oh, Shed. Deity that represents salvation. Okay, that's kind of cool. A big part of the story revolves around saving your people from slavery. No! No, I don't want that. I don't want another fucking Freedom Cry. Freedom Cry was shit. And Liberation, they're both fucking shit. I don't want to save people from slavery. Please don't. Just don't do that. Don't. Please. That would be fucking awful. There's nothing worse than a game in which the main character's like, I need to save my people from the slaves. Fuck off. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Skills are done in a talent tree. However, the differences between the skill trees is drastically different, and you can only ever have a certain amount of skills active at one point. One tree is combat, another stealth, and the final one is movement. So it's kind of like what it was like in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but I guess it's going to be a lot more in-depth and a lot more RPG-oriented like The Witcher 3. Outfit-wise, there's a few predetermined outfits, as there have been in every AC game. However, there are different pieces of equipment that you can buy that will go over the top of your base appearance. Imagine Unity's equipment variation as customization, but with less pointless fluff. Character customization is more like Unity than Syndicate, which is kind of good to hear, because if it's going to be an RPG type game, it needs extensive customization, kind of like in Assassin's Creed Unity, because they are going with the whole RPG stuff this time, so it makes sense for it to have customization like Unity over customization that's like Syndicate. That is everything on the list. It's a lot to go through. I'm going to link this Reddit post in the description so you guys can read over it yourself and form your own opinions. I kind of wanted to record this very quickly because it did kind of surfaced today. It was about an hour ago this was submitted to Reddit, and I kind of wanted to just make a little video on it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more gaming news and content in the future, and also remember to comment down in the comment section below telling me what you think of this leak and whether or not you think it's real. Again, take this leak with a huge grain of salt. There's definitely a high chance that it's fake. There's more of a chance of this being fake than real because there's no evidence behind it, and it was leaked on 4chan. We all know that 4chan is full of lying bastards. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.